Bring Mick in.
Can I just say something? Is this on?
Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. To me, it's not a question. We don't need to take a vote to form a committee because we already have a working group. I know we haven't had a meeting yet, it hasn't been formed, but it was talked about, it was discussed, and it was voted on, and it was passed that there was a working group for conservation and biodiversity. The only thing that hasn't happened is we haven't actually formed it. Right? So therefore, the only question is it going to be a committee or a subcommittee? Because we've already passed a resolution saying that all working groups will now be known as either a committee or a subcommittee. So all we have to decide tonight, hopefully, is it going to be a committee, answerable or reporting to the full council, or is it going to be a subcommittee, answerable to the Open Spaces Committee, which I will add, when this biodiversity and conservation working group was formed, there was no such a thing as an Open Spaces Committee. It was formed before the Open Spaces Committee. It was voted on and passed. So therefore, I think the only thing we want answering tonight is can we do it by ourselves? I'm not saying right, but I'll speak on behalf of Chris and Sean. You're going to have an Open Spaces Committee with a maximum of 6 members. Yeah? Yes, you are.
You can go on.
Okay, but basically what you're going to have is you're going to have a biodiversity group inside the Open Spaces Committee group, for want of better words, which is ridiculous. It's absolutely totally crazy. We should have vote tonight to change the name from the biodiversity group, or whatever you call it, to a full committee, not a subcommittee. And that is what I think you should support.
Could I answer Jonathan, please, or could I give?
Well,
if the members are going to take a vote, they need full information, which is John Bell. I have spoken to John Bell in the past, and he has told me he is Conservation Officer for buildings only. And he said, I need to speak to Rachel Overfield, who is Conservation Area Officer for green spaces. I have spoken to Rachel, and she's given me some valuable information. So I'm sorry, Jonathan, but you've given the wrong information there. John Bell has said he is for the buildings. I asked him specifically about the green space, and he said, no, you need to speak to Rachel Overfield, which I did. So, yes, Mick's made some very good points, and Stuart has pointed out that this question of conservation and biodiversity has caused more rows, from my point of view, and to me, than has been necessary, and I'm beginning to wonder why, and why is it such a problem? All I want is something quite simple. We've already got the working group, which I would like to be converted to a committee reporting to full council. I can't see any problem in that, but we must have some liaise with the ground workers. We cannot carry on letting the ground workers do what I perceive as what they like.
Well, I think that, can I just say, I don't think the ground workers are given the instructions as to where they work during the week. They have a meeting every morning with the senior administrator, which is my understanding, and the work is allocated for either that day, that week. It changes due to the weather when it's grass cutting and things like that. So it's an ongoing thing. What they do is they come back and Michael driver for this for me. They fill in a worksheet, timesheet for where after they've done the work, and then they write down what work they've done,
right,
etc.
Now then, I spoke to Siobhan some time ago, about the green, and she said, I have never been on the green. I rest my case.
Can we try and make some progress? Drew was working.
We're going to have to... John,
Well,
last one,
we
then we
have
have to
the
this to
actual-
vote because we need to move on.
We have a conservation and biodiversity working group, that's done.
Right.
So
That was before.
That's not in question at the moment, that is there.
Right.
But the question is, do we have one that's purely for the green? So we've not had a proposal of anything yet, so we're going to propose and vote and get
We've got a proposal.
The proposal is to form a Conservation and Biodiversity Committee to initially manage the Anston Village Green, or initially to manage it.
Sorry, could you say that again, please?
The proposal is to form a Conservation and Biodiversity Committee, initially to manage the Anston Village Green. That was the proposal.
Can anybody think of any way anybody can winkle out of that? Because that's what's been happening.
That's the proposal. We're going to have to... Sorry, we're going to have to...
Sorry?
We're going to have to vote on it.
Committee for the green. It's
Have
half
you
an acre of piece of grass.
Have you been on the green?
Sorry,
About 4,000
Right, well, I can't go into it here, Darren, but
Sorry,
I do have
Christine.
very good reasons.
We've got a proposal there. It's
Okay,
seconded.
okay.
To move things on, get some progress, I will second the motion. You need to vote on it, so it stands before.
Could we have a recorded vote, please?
We'll do the handball, then we'll record the vote.
Just amendment.
Hang on a minute, we've got a suggested amendment by Councillor Tarr.
I suppose it depends on what Councillor said. I think my point was mostly covered by some others. It seems, Christine, that you said that you're having difficulty communicating with some of the workmen or getting access.
I think you could use the word impossible.
Okay, so in addition to the proposal that we've already got on the table, we should probably add that we authorise Councillor Sadler to discuss with the...
Or the group, well, the committee.
Or we provide Councillor Sadler with the relevant schemes of work.
You can't do that.
We can authorise, we can provide the documentation to Councillor Sadler, if that's what she wants.
I am willing to let all that go past Drew.
Okay.
Thank you for your comments.
I'll
If
withdraw.
all I want to do is move forward. You've already received a printed copy of maintenance for the green,
Right,
which I would like implemented.
Sorry, we're going to vote now.
Okay.
This is for proposal.
Yes. Councillor Ireland,
against.
Councillor Jepson,
Against.
Councillor Machin, Councillor Manship,
To clarify specifically for the Greens, isn't it? Okay.
Councillor Matthews, Councillor Sadler,
Oh,
Councillor Smith,
Against.
Councillor Tarmy,
4.
Councillor Thorne,
4.
Councillor Thornton,
4.
Councillor Vernon,
4 if it gets exalted.
Not a straight vote.
so that's carried.
could we have the result, please?
Sorry, we're going to
It's
have
been carried.
to move on.
It was carried.
Yeah.
Because
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Councillor Coleman asked 3 times last time there was a vote on this and he never received an answer. So this time, Councillor Coleman, it's carried.
I'm sorry,
Can I just ask quick questions? Obviously now we've agreed for this to be settled. Who is now in charge of doing the terms of reference?
we need terms of reference. We have no next meeting.
Are we asking Christine to come up with some terms of reference to
Yeah.
give to the clerk,
Yeah,
for the clerk to have a look at them and put in the correct form?
yeah.
I'll speak to you about that.
Thank you. And thank you to everybody. I hope that you will see the
Excuse me,
sense
sorry,
in it.
we're going to have to move on.
Yeah, okay.
We need to move on to item 22 to deal with that tonight. Can I just ask if we can, item 19 for email from Greenland's Tara requesting a letter of support to the group to apply for funding for sports equipment. Can I have members' approval for me to write a letter of support on behalf of the Parish Council. It's for outdoor gym equipment for disabled children and families on the green, and they're looking to apply for a grant, but it has to be in by 6th of November, so we need to get it to get that sent out. So it's for Greenlands Tower to apply for a grant for disabled outdoor gym equipment on the green for use by disabled families or families with disabled children, etc. But there's a deadline for the 6th of
Can I have a proposal that we support that initially and ask the chairman to write a letter on behalf of the council supporting?
And I'll second that.
Okay, can I have all those in favour of that, please? Miles, Dan? Thank you. Right, can we move to item 22 now? We need to declare a person interested. Sorry, are you leaving the room or are you
I'm staying in the room.
staying in the room? Right, item 22. Can I just say I've been in contact with YLCA about this matter.
Can I just make a point of order, please?
Yeah?
Standing Order 87 does state that the member who has any interests shall not participate in the discussion or vote on the matter,
Yeah.
which we understand, and C, leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted upon. That's Standing Order 87.
Well, put it this way, you seem to be awfully going out of your way to have a vote with this. It's up to individuals.
Just declare it as standing orders, that's all.
It's up to individuals to declare an interest.
Can I just make-
declared an interest, and I'm not leaving.
Can I just make a point? The monitoring, I've been in touch with the monitoring officer.
Take your guidance on
And it was a recommendation that you actually leave the room while
Well, I'm not leaving. I've taken legal advice and I'm not leaving the room.
Could I ask a question?
Hang on.
I've taken legal advice and I'm not leaving the room. And if anyone wants to put me in front of the standards committee, by all means do so. Ex-councillor Simpson.
Stuart, please, let's, none of that. Come on, Christine, just bear with me. If you refuse, well, I can't legally make you leave that, as far as I'm aware.
You cannot.
As you said, I can't make you do that. It's up to you.
Just in standing orders, that's all.
Yeah, well, if it's reaching standing orders, then that's that'll have to be taken.
Can I ask?
Just bear with me, Christine. Just as I say, I've had some advice from Rotherham and from YLCA about this this particular item. So if I could just read some of these out. Some of it is about disruptive behaviour in the room, and we've not had any of that tonight, so and hopefully we shan't have any. But if we do have any, could be the members of the public or councillors, then people will get one verbal warning, and if they don't stop, then I'll ask them to leave the meeting. If they don't leave the meeting, then South Yorkshire Police, we've got the presence of a gentleman here from the organisation, will be called and people will be asked to leave the meeting. So I say I'm quoting from advice I've been given. I know people shaking their head, but there you go. So there's some other items I want to make clear. As I said, one verbal warning before the order to leave is issued. Can I just point out that from this again from YLCA that the monitoring officer plus the standards committee has identified from an independent and transparent process there has been a breach of the Parish Council's code of conduct and that the principal authority expect the Parish Council to do it in a professional manner. Right. The next item is the law on Local Act 2011 does not require the Parish Council. Is everybody listening to this? It's important. The Local Act 2011 does not require the Parish Council to implement any or all of the recommendations made. The council concerned has been found to be wanting his application of the council's code of conduct by a separate local authority. The council also needs to consider public perception of itself and the potential for criticism if it does not consider the recommendations that have been made. So the advice is to take a vote to establish whether the council will or will not sanction the councillor concerned. So at this moment in time, that's the only aspect of the consideration. Not how or which of the recommendations will be imposed, and the result of the vote will indicate whether the council moves forward to considering the substance of the recommendations made. So Does anybody want to speak on that? Put forward any motion?
Right, on the grounds that the Standards Committee are not open about the way they work or the decisions or how they come to the decision, it's unlike a court of law where evidence has to be produced. I think, in my opinion, the way that the Standards Committee operate, from my point of view, it is unsafe. And I personally can not sanction anybody when I have not seen or heard any of the evidence. And it's for those reasons alone that I will not sanction anybody.
Right, okay, thank you. Jonathan, do you want to speak?
Yeah, just a few things.
We'll move on. We need to move on to
Yeah,
the vote.
not many. Right, we've got to take into account that guilt has already been proven by the 12 members of the committee, which is a list there.
With no evidence.
Yeah, all right,
12 members of
Let him
the
speak.
which
It's
included 2
spoken.
parish councillors, I believe one from Woodsex, some borough councillors, and then some co-optees who aren't councillors, so there won't be any political bias for them to be accused of. Do we accept the recommendations of the Standards Committee, or do we choose to disregard it and just sweep under the carpet, which it seems like we'll do if we don't accept it? So you've got to think carefully how you're going to vote, because you can't change the fact that guilt's been proven. That's not in question. That's already been established. It's, do we think of the public's perception, like Clive already said? What will the public think if we disregard recommendations from Borough Council? And that's purely it. You've got to think of that.
Well,
I just want to raise a point. I actually spoke to Catherine Parkinson, the lady that, and she put it to me, because certain parts of it weren't used, because, for example, a certain member didn't represent himself. All the views that they've put forward in the Standards Committee are for consideration only, and it's our choice as to whether we consider it.
That's
That's
what
basically it. And like she says, they're just recommendations, so whether or not you paint a blurry picture of whichever way we go, it's our decision, based upon what we've got, and the points are for consideration only. Whether or not we say yes, it goes ahead, and no, it doesn't, is up to us, because she was just saying they are for guidance from what they put forward.
Right, I'm sorry, we're going to have to move on because we've still got some other items to.
Are we going to have a vote or not?
It's well.
Because if we're not going to have a vote, I move to private session so that we can have a vote.
Well, I would like to put it to the vote.
Right.
If are members happy to put it to the vote?
Yes.
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 Right,
So,
okay.
what about the fact that Stuart's still here?
Well,
Does that make a difference?
that's not where we-
It'll be on video anyway, it is
It's on video, so it doesn't matter.
Can I just, sorry Drew, I bet you last one from Jonathan, that's it after that.
Jonathan, under Standing Order 87, specifically mentions pecuniary interests under Appendix A and Appendix B. Is what Stuart's declared actually an interest that falls under those appendices? I'm not sure it is.
Well, as I say, the only advice I've given is what I've been given, and the recommendation would be that he leaves the room, but he's taken the view that he's not going to do that. So yeah, I mean, I've made the point now that you need to establish whether you're going to proceed with these votes, because if we do that, then we went through 3 others, aren't we? So it's up to members today. Does somebody want to propose that we take a vote whether we proceed with the recommendations, or it says to take a vote to establish whether the council will or will not sanction the council concerned. If we take a vote on that now, then that negates the other recommendations. It's up to
I
you
propose that we vote.
whether you want to decide to proceed to take a vote on those 3 recommendations.
I suppose we just made that.
Have you propose that we
I'll second
Take a vote.
Take a vote whether to proceed with any of the recommendations at all.
When, is that a bit broad, or do we need to vote on whether we're going to sanction the
It's
said
to take a vote
member?
whether the council wishes to proceed with A, B and C, the recommendations.
Can we vote?
Sorry.
Can I propose first that we do take a vote? Is everybody in agreement that we take the vote, even though Stuart's still here?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's for the vote. That's for the.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Sorry.
Then it's just...
So we're taking a. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Let's get this sorted out. We're taking a vote whether we're going to proceed with looking at any of those recommendations.
Yeah.
The vote is that we do proceed to look at those, then we'll go to 1, 2 and 3. If the vote is that we don't proceed to any of these recommendations, then that's it.
Can we record it?
Yeah.
Councillor Coleman?
I propose that we don't proceed with the recommendations.
So you're against?
Sorry, against what? Taking a vote.
Against voting on the recommendation.
This is decided to...
When you agree with Robert recommendations or not?
Councillor Ireland?
So,
4.
Councillor Jepson?
For
Councillor Machin? Councillor Manship? Councillor Matthews? Councillor Sadler?
4.
Councillor Smith? Councillor Tarley?
4.
Councillor Thorne? Councillor Thornton?
right, that's right. So everybody,
Councillor Vernon?
Still got some...
we're voting as to whether we proceed with
Councillor Vernon?
going through A, B and C recommendations.
Councillor Vernon?
You sure you understand it?
are you sure?
No.
No, he's not.
I think there's more than one of us coming.
And he's not the only one,
Right,
Did we just vote? Have a vote.
It's simple, we
the
vote.
vote was, do we proceed to discuss it to the recommendations or do we not?
Do you want to vote on the next 3 items?
But Clive,
Yes, so we've voted that we moved on to, we discussed the 3, or we voted on the 3 items.
Right, yeah.
Everybody's voted. Right, so it's item A. So that was 4. We proceed to item A, which is the first recommendation. So the recommendation is to censure Councillor Thornton as recommended by the RMBC Standards Committee.
Can we record it vote, please?
Right, can I just have a very, very quick question here? What are the consequences of censure as far as parish council operations go?
It's noted in the minutes and it goes back to RMBC because they want a copy of the minutes as to what our decision.
And who decides what sanctions in place?
The censure is just a censure, so it's just in the minutes that the council is being censured. The sanctions are to B and C.
Right, okay.
You might vote for the censure and not B
Yeah,
and C.
okay.
You can have a comment, it's up to you how you pick and choose.
Right, Councillor Coleman.
Sorry, could you just clarify the actual report?
To censure Councillor Thornton as recommended by the RMBC Standards Committee.
I'm against it.
Councillor Ireland.
4.
Councillor Jepson.
So,
Councillor Machin.
Against.
Councillor Manship. Councillor Matthews.
4.
Councillor Sadler.
to censure,
To censure.
censure,
censure, yeah.
against.
Councillor Smith. Councillor Talmy.
Abstain.
Councillor Thorne.
Against.
Councillor Vernon.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Chair's casting vote.
Well, I've already
Voted.
voted, so yeah, it's 4.
So now we've got that.
Right, so the motion for censure is passed. Next one is the motion to remove from the committees and subcommittees.
So item B is to remove council thoughts from all committees and subcommittees as recommended by the RMBC Standards Committee. So,
Can I just call the vote on all this?
Yeah.
Councillor Coleman.
Against.
Councillor Ireland.
4.
Councillor Jepson.
4.
Councillor Machin,
Against.
Councillor Manship,
For.
Councillor Matthews,
Against.
Councillor Sandler,
Against?
Councillor Smith,
For.
Councillor Tarney,
Against.
Councillor Torn,
Against.
Councillor Vernon.
Against.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4. So
That's
that's not
not carried.
carried.
So what are the figures, 7-2?
Right, proceed to item C, which is to remove council Thornton from all outside appointments as recommended by the RMBC Standards Committee.
Do you have a recorded vote
Yeah.
again, please, Chairman?
Councillor Coleman,
Against.
Councillor Ireland,
For.
Councillor Jepson,
For.
Councillor Machin,
Against.
Councillor Manship,
For.
Councillor Matthews,
Against.
Councillor Sadler,
Against?
Councillor Smith,
For.
Councillor Tarney,
Against.
Councillor Torn,
Against.
Councillor Vernon.
Against.
That's same as before, so that's not carried. So, at the end of the day, it's item A is the councillor Thornton centre, is that right?
Yes.
By the Borough Council, oh sorry, Parish Council, items B and C, the council have not accepted the recommendations. So,
These more.
okay, that's fine. Right, we'll move on now to, we'll go to the public. Yeah, what time is it? Yeah, move to the public session. That's everybody's happy with that, and then we've still got 1 or 2 items that we can get ready for.
That was on the accident.
Sorry?
The accident.
No, the emails.
The accident was one point, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. Is that still okay? Well, let's go to the public session now then, and then we'll try and pick those matters. I'd like to get the air cadets one sorted out. Oh, well, quite. Well, yeah, so we'll do that one. We'll do that one tonight. Yeah, we'll see. Sorry, we'll go back to that one, then we'll go to public session. It's item 18, 14, sorry. Air cadets be authorised to make a bucket collection this year's 1.9 in order to raise funds for the Dignity Squadrons. They are also providing marshals for the night. I think before when they've done it, we've given them 15
Yeah, but this
pounds. But this time they're collecting money, so
Can I say?
only suggestion with that.
Can I say very quickly that last year they did a fantastic job. They boosted the number of marshals up. It's good for them because it's part of their community activities that they do. And if they can, and yeah, there's quite a few plans to do. And it's the only way they can raise funds. They don't get a lot of funding from the MOD, but they can generate their own funds, and it really is worthwhile. I would only say one thing, and that is that they can, if we can direct them to collect near the gate on the way in and around the crowds or near the parish hall during the event, but not near the exit because it's too crowded and it'll cost too much of a crush. That's the only stipulations I'd like to put on
I
it.
think they provide, sorry Jonathan, they're providing, how many are they providing?
It's a lot.
It's quite a lot that they're providing in way of staff, and we're short of marshals, so we need to lose.
Speaking of which, please put your name forward for marshalling.
Jonathan, and then we're going to go.
I was just going to say, propose we accept
Accept
that.
that, okay, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Got a second.
Have a second? All those in favour? Thank you. Right, we'll go to the public session now then. So what time is it? 9:20. Do we need to?
Well, it's only 10 minutes to...
Yeah, so we've got 10 minutes, take it up to 9:30, and then if I'd like to not put it to other items of business off if people have to stop. 10 minutes. Oh, sorry. No, so we'll do this bit. Yeah. Yeah, so shall we just do this? Well, yeah, we've got 10 minutes now to 9:30. So if any members of the public want to, Mrs. Reynolds?
Yeah. Is the Open Spaces Committee going to have members of the public on it? And if so, how will they be recruited?
No.
Don't be silly. Can I speak, please?
I'll let Councillor Machin try and solve this one.
Because it
Yeah, thanks for that question. Yes, we
I
intend...
stand on a point of order,
Sorry.
Chair. The rules apply to me and they apply to everybody else. Can I just remind you to resolve to adjourn the meeting in order to allow the public to raise any issues regarding today's meeting. It's not a question and answer session.
Okay, fine, thanks.
Well, it was we were talking about the Public Spaces Committee, and it would be open to members of the public, and I just want to know if members of the public are going to be able to be on it.
I think it's...
I mean,
Can I just ask, is that an issue you have with the public
yeah, it
spaces?
is an issue
Sorry.
I have with this.
I think it's a legitimate question if you want that.
It's an issue.
Well, if Councillor Martin will try and answer it for you then on that basis.
Yeah.
We have discussed it tonight.
Simple answer is yes, the intention is to co-opt experts, people with knowledge, whatever they happen to be, as on and as and when needs basis. But it should be stressed that they don't have any voting rights.
Well, I know that.
That's
we
fair
did
enough.
before.
That's okay, thanks, I'll just finish. And the subgroups, for example, when we set up the Anston Woods subcommittee,
That's the one, yeah.
that's the one. People will be invited. So, for example, we need to get people like Natural England on board, local naturalists, and so on and so forth. So, yes, they will, but we're even at an early stage with that. We've had one Open Spaces Committee meeting so far, and we've then got to set up these other committees, including the Anston Woods. All right.
And it will include people who actually pay towards it, like local taxpayers.
Yes.
It'll include people who've got, no, not necessarily, it depends what it is. If we've got 100 people there, it's not going to be workable.
No,
if someone's got a specific interest,
It's to
then
basically try and carry it as we did before too.
Yeah, well, that's
the
what's
walkabouts and stuff like that.
Yeah,
Decided on the,
I think it says people who have got a specific involvement or interest.
like doing the photographic survey.
Yes, that's all part of it, yeah.
Just we'll get there. We will invite people.
Mr. Cabinet?
I'd just like to ask you if you think whether or not the decision to go against Rotherham Borough Council's Standards Committee could have an effect on our community and our relationship with Rotherham.
Can I just come in?
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, use microphone, Colin. Although it's not that far away.
I understand your question, but for the third time, Rotherham Borough Council cannot sanction a parish council. They can only make recommendations. We have acted on those recommendations.
As a ratepayer, I'm only asking you, as a councillor, if you think it could have any effect on our relationship as a community.
We're not, sorry, Councillor Stewart. No.
No, it can't. It cannot have any effect at all on me.
None whatsoever.
Because the Standards Committee is not Rotherham Borough Council.
So you're saying that our relationship would not be affected at all with this decision that you as a council have made today?
Personally, I don't think so.
No. Can I just add to that?
You would like to hope not?
I don't know. I would hope not, but I couldn't tell you it's not until they get...
Well, thanks for being honest, Clyde, because I hope not is the answer I will.
Yeah, well, I hope not. I mean, I will try to make sure that it doesn't, put it that way. I'll be down this.
Well, I hope you don't.
And they will get a copy of the minutes, and they will then look at them, and then we'll take it from there. But I can't tell you any more than that at this moment in time. Okay. Is that it? Any more questions? Right, I'm going to close the public session. Thank you very much for your attendance. We'll go back into council. We've got a meeting. I know members have been here. We've got a meeting next week. We've only got. There's nothing that's particularly pressing that's left. Is everybody happy to leave those items and we reconvene next Wednesday? Are we okay with that?
What are we doing with the green spaces?
Can I just say, whose idea was to have it the day before Friday night? Thank you very much.
Well, while I'm here, I'm confident. The normal tradition is councillors try and volunteer to act as marshals. The last time I went to Scottish Law, there was only myself and one other. So if anybody would like to volunteer to be a marshal, all it consists of is having a high jacket on and just basically walking about. There's nothing erroneous about it.
Yeah, really without...
Anybody that can get.
I think 4 councillors have volunteered.
It's me.
15 of us.
As many as they can get. I mean, if you can't get till 7, just run in, grab a torch and whatever.
Can you brief him from the marshal?
And we'll try and send...
You get a big stick.
You get what, sorry? No, you don't get a big stick.
You can charge them as well.
But I would like as many to be there